Hey guys, today we're gonna check out another cool pedal. Finally a pedal again. It's been a long time. And it's not any pedal, it's a tube screamer. Wow, you think? A tube screamer. Everything is a tube screamer. Yeah, sure. But this is a tube screamer clone that they have added in the back so you can switch out the components. And the best thing is that you don't even have to take out the soldering gun. You can just switch out the components with a screw in the back. You can even modify it even more. So it has a lot of customizable stuff that you can do with it. So what is the pedal? The pedal is the Overdriver from Anasounds, and they come from the land of France. It's not even that expensive because the fully assembled one cost 130 euros, and you can also buy it as a kit if you think that 130 euros, that's too much. And I can do it myself better at home. Well, then you have a kit for 80 euros. And that's so cool. I love building kits as well myself. But if you don't like it, you can buy the fully assembled one. And this is what I got here today. So I was lucky enough to borrow this pedal from my friend Soul. I will call him Soul for his own sake. Forgot to change the lighting. One second. Changing the light on my Philips Hue. Gotta have some cool colors for YouTube. I don't know, maybe. There we go, that's how it should look. So when you get the pedal, you actually get it with a couple of components already done. Focus! There you go. So you have like another pro on this, but you got the transistor and you got some LED clipping. So I will check that out in a bit, but let's start with just clean. Today I'm playing through my Solar A16 ETC, woo, Evertune. And that goes into my Laney GH50L, very Marshall-y sounding. And that goes into the 2-notes captor, and that goes into the sound card, and that has some IRs from ML Sound Labs. I think it's the traditional Mesa right now. And this is my cleanish tone. Okay, I lied, it's not clean, it's crunch. And this is with the pedal on. So you notice that it did the classic overdrive tube screamer thing. It just bumped up the mid and cut a lot of bass. So you get a clearer sound. If you compare the bass, listen carefully, between this. So here you have a lot more clarity and of course more gain, but the sound itself is actually quite changed. So let's check out the pedal itself. I have everything at noon right now. We have an output, a gain, and a tone. Looks very similar to a tube screamer. But then you have two dip switches that's pretty different. It's called voicing and clipping. So the clipping is for the diodes and the voicing is for the capacitors. I'm a little rusty in the theory behind it, but clipping is probably the most important one. It's how the distortion is actually made. And the voicing is probably more like how much bass it will cut or add, I guess. We have 3 different modes on the voicing. In the middle, it's the standard. I can show you. Sounds like this. In the top, you have a mode where it actually keeps the bass. And in the bottom, you have the capacitor issues on the back. So right now I have the original one. I don't know what that is. That was in the middle position, and this is the one I choose in the back. A little bit of difference. Let's try the clipping instead. Now it's on the one on the back, and it sounds like this, like I just played. I can't remember that song. So you can hear in the clipping there's a lot of difference. I feel like when you're playing it on the standard setting, it's more like the classic tube screamer, I guess. And then you can add any kind of diode. So let's check out the other dials and maybe we can just try those dip switches again and see if it's even more when you add more gain. So let's start with gain. You got that super tight and round kind of feeling. Oh, it's so nice to play. Let's try the opposite and just having a low gain sound. Let's try the opposite and having a low gain sound. Oof. This is why I like Overdrive so much. It adds a lot of compression and still clarity, even when you remove gain. So it compresses and it also lifts the middle, so it's very audible when you're playing in a band and just you have a bass that's just covering all the bass frequencies with the drums. And the drums is up in the highs often. And then you're sitting there in the middle like, yeah. You know, it's perfect. Let's get the game back. Let's go all the way again. It was a good feeling. Love that tone. Let's go on checking out the tone. I have no stamina. I have no stamina. I have no stamina. And let's try it with more gain on the amp. So I'm gonna go full gain on the amp. I'm just gonna have this at, say, half. Gain at amp max. Why don't I have any stamina? Now I'm gonna switch through the dip switches again, just to see with the full gain, the kind of difference. Oof, tight, I need to do this. So guys, I'm just gonna switch out one of the components just to see the difference. We're gonna go from this clipping now that I have no idea what it is to LEDs. And I don't think a lot of people know that when the LEDs are clipping, they actually light up. So I'm gonna show you that. Let's do it! So the inside of the pedal looks like this. Looks pretty ordinary, except for, let's do this, except for these blue connectors. And I'm gonna unscrew this. I'm gonna put in the LEDs I got in the bag. So this is gonna be quick. Out! Get it out! I think there was some kind of clipping diodes. Don't know exactly. So let's put these in instead. I'm not one of the most practical guys in the world. You're saying. So now let's see if you can see that. Now we have the LEDs in there. And I'm gonna start it up and see what happens. So now that we changed the clipping diode, let's see if there's a difference between the original, that's one in the top, and the one that we just changed in the bottom. And let's see how it is with more a sparkly kind of single coil. This is a neck pickup on the Solar split, so it's like a single coil. So guys, this was the Ego driver from Anasounds, or Ego if you call it that, and it looks pretty cool. So you can customize this pedal to death if you want to, because you actually even have trim pots in the back where you can change there. You can change how much bass you want to have and how much mid bump it will have. So you can have think about all the different configurations you can do, and like you can even build your own kind of components. You know, these kind of kits that came with it, you can do your own. You can play with it, you know. You can have 14 diodes clipping, I don't know why, but you can. And just that you can build it in a kit for 80 euros, it's insane, you know. And if you want to build it pre-made like this one, 130 euros. And then you compare that to like JHS pedals, they cost like 200 euros. So it's actually pretty inexpensive. So guys, that's all for me today. Thank you guys for watching. See ya!